Most executives are solving the wrong problem, and they are doing it exceptionally well. That is the expensive part. Every week, in organizations across every industry, senior leaders invest significant time and energy in alignment. They run the meetings, they repeat the direction, they answer the questions, they bridge the gaps between what was communicated and what was understood, and they walk away feeling like they did their job. They did not calculate what they spent. Feeling productive and being productive are not the same thing, and confusing them is one of the most costly errors an executive can make. A senior leader earning $300,000 a year costs roughly $144 per hour. Count the hours in a given week consumed not by strategy, not by decisions, not by execution, but by alignment. Getting people to understand what the direction is, repeating context that was already communicated, sitting in rooms where the meeting exists because a decision architecture doesn't. In most organizations, that number is between 8 and 14 hours per week. At $144 per hour, that is between $1,100 and $2,000 per week, per executive. Across a leadership team of 5, that is between $285,000 and $520,000 per year, spent entirely on getting people to the same starting line. Not on strategy, not on execution, on the starting line. Charlie Munger had a term for this, being precisely wrong rather than approximately right. Executing with great precision on a solution to a problem that is not the actual problem. The competence makes it worse. The harder you work at the wrong thing, the further you get from the right answer. Most organizations are paying a 6-figure annual tax for an architecture problem they have mistaken for a communication problem. Before asking how to reduce the alignment tax, ask what would make it permanent. What conditions would guarantee that alignment is always necessary, always expensive, always dependent on your presence? The answer requires no research. Leave decision rights undefined. Never specify what your team is authorized to decide without escalating. Never establish the thresholds that tell them when a problem is theirs to solve and when it belongs upstream. That is the current state of most organizations, not by design, but by default. And the result is not a communication failure. It is a design output. The organization is producing exactly the behavior its structure was built to produce. A communication failure is fixed by communicating better, clearer direction, more frequent connection, better listening. These are legitimate skills. They produce real results at the margins. A structural failure persists regardless of how clearly you communicate, because the issue was never the message. It was the absence of a system that makes the message unnecessary. Undefined decision rights mean your team asks before acting. Undefined escalation thresholds mean they bring everything to you rather than risk overstepping. Unembedded context means every new situation requires fresh orientation. Every ask, every unnecessary escalation, every "let me catch you up" is a unit of alignment tax. Better communication does not eliminate these conditions. Only architecture does. The organizations that have solved this do not look like they have solved anything. They look unremarkable from the outside. Decisions get made, problems get resolved, the operation runs. The senior leader is present but not load-bearing. What changed was not the quality of communication. What changed was that someone defined what each person was authorized to decide, at what threshold a problem escalates, and what context is embedded in process rather than stored in someone's head. The alignment tax drops when the conditions that generate it are removed. That is not leadership. That is not communication. That is architecture. Most executives will pay this tax for their entire careers. They will run better meetings, they will communicate more clearly, they will become more disciplined about cascading direction, they will improve measurably at the task of alignment, and they will still pay. Because the problem they are solving for is not the problem generating the cost. They are optimizing the manual for an organization that should not require one. The alignment tax is not a communication problem. It is the price of an organization that was never designed to run without you. Unlike most taxes, this one is optional. The question is whether you have decided to stop paying it, or whether you are still running the meeting.